guys, Susan here, Inside Unfolding. Hey, I told you guys that I want to start a little section that is really about studio tips or business tips, and this is the beginning of it. So, if you guys have any questions, please just go ahead and put them in that comment box, and I'll keep track of them, and I'll try to talk about subjects that you guys want to hear about, whether, in the studio, how things are managed, or, business. So for me, it's like I've done retail and wholesale. I've built big commercial lines. I have, I just really have done so many different lines in my life and organized. And, now I'm doing more of like products that are these elusive training groups. So anyway, what I wanted to talk about today was a little bit of branding. So many people ask me about this. So what I wanted to talk about first off is I wanted to give you a little story that I'm doing. So a friend of mine, she's starting off, she's a chiropractor. She actually worked on this wellness side of her field. I've known her for many years. I was actually going to this beautiful wellness man that was working on me and really helping me to open up and let go of a lot of things in my life, as you guys know, is part of this whole program and what it's about. So I met her years ago, and I would watch her struggling and doing her own unfolding work and coming into her own person. When you can start coming into your own person, you are ready for the world. Like, you are ready to start your brand. Your brand can't help but to be you, and you can't help to be your brand. So, it was a really interesting process for me to watch. Sometimes in life we have all of these experiences that pop up for us and we don't even know why they're there, or we think of them as negative. But so in here, I really got to see her blossom and shed and become who she really is authentically. When she did this, she moved into a new space, and she was telling me she needed some staging done. And I was like, oh my gosh, pick me. Staging, to stage for who you are as your brand is very, very important. Why is it important? A couple of reasons. Why staging, which means to decorate your space, because the few reasons why it is really important is that you want to embody yourself, and you want to actually extend who you are out into your space. If doing that, with your booth, as a lot of people know, but really, really knowing yourself and extending your brand out into the world. So that way, when someone walks in for retail or wholesale, they know who I am and what my brand is about. My words are there. Plus, if you think about it, the whole unfolding program is about learning and exploring yourself more and more. And even as long as I've been doing this, I still continue to do this. There's no stopping point, and your branding can change a little bit too. So it's like, for me, so if that's for one, it's like, so your people can find you, you can find your people. And that includes, staging your place, staging your website, staging your retail store, staging your wholesale store, staging your body, like staging everything about you so people can recognize easily who you are, what your product is, and what you're selling, basically. You know what I mean? You might be selling, when I hit industrial chic, I was selling South Side of Chicago, badass girl. Now I've changed so much. Now I'm selling a softer, gentler, nomadic, wise woman. Why not? Right? So that's, in my decor. I sent a little film of, my studio, how it's coming along. I'm scrubbing and cleaning. I'm getting there. I'm not quite there yet, but I thought, since it's on my mind and since this is my objective, I thought it would be a really good subject to talk about this month. So the second reason you want your space that way is that every time that you want your studio yourself staged to present you, is that every time I walk in the store, it's like a talisman. I am embodied in myself on an outward way, right? I'm embodied in myself, and I can be here with myself, and I can look around, and it reminds me of where I'm going and what I'm doing. The third thing is that it's hard to take an idea or a concept from here, as we're doing unfolding, to like take this concept of who are we and what do we do, and bring it into this dense earth plane. How do I take these concepts and bring it into the earth plane? By staging, you can get in and stage your place. And it's a practice of pulling down from above the information that you need to make yourself successful. So later on, once you get used to pulling that information down, later on, you will easily be able to pull down work and lines and messages and intuitiveness and a lot of messages that you need. You'll just get used to it. It gets you in the habit of all of this. And soon, that's your life, So I actually have, and that kind of really is another reason. So 4 is that when I start doing my social media or I hire someone for social media, my whole place is staged to look like me. So when I come in or when my social media person comes in, she can walk around this space and see my brand every single place around here. So that, really is important for, for us. She doesn't have to, we don't have to hunt down places. I have gorgeous old scrolls. I have beautiful greenery. I have, however I want to express myself. I have beautiful paint in the room. I have, pieces that I've collected from around the world. I have my own work. I have gorgeous chandeliers, so it's like, it's important for me to fit myself into my space. So everything else just falls easily. So when I, end up with my product or my line, it just flows. It's going to look like my space. How can it help not to? Does that make sense? So, in talking about my 5 branding words, I talk about this sometimes, but it's a really good exercise to do, is just to think about what type of words inspire you to figure out your brand. So all of this, really, you guys, unfolding, keep working and unfolding it, get you clearer and clearer and closer to yourself, and get your journals out. These are my 5 words. I decided to sit here. So, oh my gosh, look, I have my first word as freedom. So, let's start with inspiration, actually. So inspiration, I feel like for most of my life in my work, I have inspired people. I have met with people, years ago when I started doing my 5-day retreats, I would have people that had lines of jewelry, products that, would show up at American Craft Council, this Rosen Group, the Smithsonian. They would come out to my show, and I would have mine in October, and it's refreshing. You're kind of checking out of your old ways and checking into new ways to be inspired. I hope these words that I'm saying to you right now is inspiring. I hope all of this, in my work, my jewelry work, I hope my jewelry work is inspiring. I hope my studio is inspiring. That is like one word that I like to keep close to my heart, inspiring. Another one is beautiful. Beautiful in like a yoga, flowing kind of a way. Beautiful in a way where when I'm sitting in my yoga and I have light and love coming through me, I feel so beautiful and light on the inside, and I want to project that outward. So, I have the word beautiful because I'd like my work to be as beautiful as I feel on the inside. And that's my own interpretation. It doesn't have to be diamonds or gold. It could be hammered out. It could be organic. It could be any of these type of factors. Another one is spiritual. So it is with my yoga. It's like I love gems in my work. So spiritual, I like to talk about the properties of gems, the properties of the moon, the properties of Talisman. That all is like I do in unfolding. We pick a talisman every month, and we live inside of our talisman. So that is really, part of the spiritual part of my whole brand. The other one is nomadic and travel. Oh my gosh, I've traveled and I have researched jewelry and from all over the world, jewelry and adornment, symbolism, talisman, all of this. And I've incorporated it into my own brand and who I am. So my work can't help but to be full of historical storytelling, historical symbolism, folk tales, stories, all of this. It's like that's all in nomadic travel, and making life easier for travel. My nomadic toolkit, it's like to make life easier where I can fly to the other side of the world in Thailand, bring my nomadic toolkit with me, and to be able to do my work. That's really important to me. And then the other one that we started with was freedom. Oh my gosh, who doesn't want the freedom to build and to do and to move the way that you want to, in life. So freedom, it's like the freedom to dress the way I want to, the freedom to wear a crown if I wanted to, or build jewelry when I'm in there building my work. If I, it's like many times in my life, I'm just like, okay, who's gonna wear this piece, but I build it. It's the freedom to build whatever I wanna do. And maybe it's a piece that's incorporated in interior design, we don't know. So that's in talking about branding. So think about what your branding is this month. This was a super exciting subject. So remember, put your comments in the comment bar. I'd love to hear the kind of things that you guys would like to hear about your business brand. And, sometimes I get in here and talk studio setups and things like that. So, okay.